Hello, and welcome to Mini Music Monday, a subsidiary of the Raw Impressions podcast.
When you're shaking that mic
Take it away,
stand
Adelle.
around.
It's driving me crazy. I hate this mic stand. I hate it. So,
Okay.
yeah. Hi.
Should I stop everything?
No, just, carry on. Carry on. I'm just saying. It's we fight. We tussle, me and this mic stand. Hi.
Hi. Yeah, I've ruined a lot of mic stands in my day. I used to just grab them and twist them until I thought they were right, but you're not supposed to do that. You go through it, you loosen things, you adjust them, and you do it. You do it methodically, mindfully, like a good sound engineer.
So there's a methodical, calm way of adjusting it instead of just fighting with it like I do.
I've fought with gear. I fought with instruments, microphones, cables for most of my life.
Yeah.
And I still do.
When you fight with computers, that's my favorite. I mean, you have such a calm, reasoned response when things are not going well with computers. It's inspiring, hon. It's
There's
inspiring.
a part of me that actually is just taking that as a compliment. Even though I know you're being completely sarcastic, I'm going, no, that's actually true. I am reasoned. I am. Whatever's happened in the past.
Yeah, we're turning over a new leaf right now. Mm-hmm. Well.
I've done something that I really wanted to do for a long time on the podcast.
What would that be?
It's cover a very special song, a song that I felt early on in the podcast was very necessary for me to do.
Song commencing
Yes.
in 5 notes.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sometimes I try to do things and it just doesn't work out the way I want it to, and I get real frustrated, and I try hard to do it, and I take my time, but it just doesn't work out the way I want it to. It's like I concentrate on it real hard, but it just doesn't work out, and everything I do and everything I try, it never turns out, and it's like I need time to figure these things out. But there's always someone there going like, hey, Mike, we've been noticing you've been having a lot of problems lately, You should maybe get away and maybe you should talk about it. You'll feel a lot better. And I go, no, it's okay. I'll figure it out. Just leave me alone. I'll figure it out, I'll just work it out myself. And they go, well, if you want to talk about it, I'll be here, and you'll probably feel a whole lot better if you talk about it. So why don't you talk about it? And I go, no, I don't want to. I'm okay. I'll figure it out myself. But they just keep bugging me. They just keep bugging me. And it builds up inside.
You're gonna be institutionalized. You'll come out brainwashed with bloodshot eyes, and you won't have any say. They'll brainwash you until you see their way.
I am not crazy. You're the one that's crazy. You're driving me crazy.
They stick me in an institution. They said it was the only solution to give me needed professional help to protect me from the enemy myself.
This feels.
Verse 1 of
I'm relating to the song maybe a little too much.
That's verse 1.
Verse 1.
Verse 1.
Oh.
Yep. The song is, do you know the song?
No.
Have you ever heard this song before?
Never. It's almost like someone pulled my diary out though and just started. You found my diary. How cute.
This song was like everybody's diary in 1983, including my own. This song spoke to me in 1983.
Who's responsible for this song?
Suicidal Tendencies.
Okay.
From Venice, California. They released a record on Frontier Records on 1983. Frontier Records was an amazing record label from LA that released such classics, such hardcore, amazing, incredible Southern California punk, like the Circle Jerks and the Adolescents and China White and blah, blah, blah. They're an amazing label. And then they started putting out like Americana records in the mid
80s too. This record label was way ahead of the curve.
Wow.
They put out a band called the Long Riders and a band called the Pontiac Brothers, which kind of ties into that whole country punk thing that I was trying to explain.
Yeah.
Anyway, so a great record label. They put out this amazing like Latino band or partially Latino band from Venice, California with possible gang ties.
Is that Suicidal Tendencies?
Yes, and they were supposed to be just a party band, and then people started to show up at their shows, and they had to become a real band.
Oh.
But they were getting huge in Southern California. They put out this record, this self-titled record. I get so excited when I talk about hardcore. But they put out the song Institutionalized, and if something could go viral, that went viral because everybody I knew who found out about it in 1983, it spread like wildfire in the underground hardcore music community. It was a hit. Even though...
Sign me up.
It was not a hit. It was not a hit.
It wasn't a hit.
But they did play it on K-Rock in L.A., and it was the 23rd, number 23 of the top whatever of 1983. So it made it to 23 in K-Rock's playlist.
Okay.
Top 23 of the year. So that was it. But you cannot underestimate how intense that song was for kids like me. And we loved it. And I've always loved that song. I think it's not a novelty song per se, but the fact that it is mostly spoken word really sets it apart and makes it interesting to me. It sets it puts it with like Convoy and The Streak that I've done previously.
Right. Yep.
For the podcast.
A lot of speaking through the song, like telling you what's up.
Which I've always like a recitation throughout the song, which I think makes it so unique. And the guy who wrote it, Mike Muir, that's all his lyrics, and it's set to his buddy, the guitar player,
Song commencing
wrote the
in
music.
5 notes.
Here's verse 2. I was in my room and I was just like staring at the wall, thinking about everything. And then again, I was thinking about nothing. And my mom came in and I didn't notice she was there. And she called my name and I didn't hear her. And then she started screaming, Mike, Mike! And I go, what? What's the matter? And she goes, what's the matter with you? And I go, there's nothing wrong, Mom. And she goes, don't tell me that. You're on drugs. And I go, no, Mom, I'm not on drugs. I'm okay. I'm just thinking, And why don't you get me a Pepsi? And she goes, no, you're on drugs. And I go, Mom, I'm okay. I'm just thinking. And she goes, no, you're not thinking. You're on drugs. Normal people don't act that way. And I go, Mom, just give me a Pepsi, please. All I want is a Pepsi. And she wouldn't give it to me. All I wanted was a Pepsi. Just one Pepsi. And she wouldn't give it to me. Just a Pepsi.
They give you a white shirt with long sleeves, they tie it around your back, they treat you like thieves, drug you up because they're lazy. It's too much work to help a crazy.
I'm not crazy. You're the one that's crazy. Driving me crazy.
They stick me in an institution, they said it was the only solution to give me needed professional help to protect me from the enemy myself.
Verse 2. There we go.
I really am impressed with these lyrics. I just had to look them up.
Oh,
Suicidal
you
Tendencies, because they sound familiar to me. So I'm wondering if they had like a hit.
The line
later.
Couldn't you just give me a Pepsi? Can I have a Pepsi? Or like, all I wanted was a Pepsi. That became a meme. Before memes, that was like, and it was in Repo Man. The song was in Repo Man, the movie. Not that. It was a seminal underground film that featured a punk rock soundtrack and arguably a punk rock main character played by Emilio Estevez.
In what?
Anyway.
Sorry, I zoned out. I was reading about Suicidal Tendencies.
Why does this always happen when I try to tell people about Repo Man?
Oh, Repo Man. Wait, no. Did I see that?
Just glazing over. He said seminal. Then I think he might have said Harry Dean Stanton. I'm like, wake up.
Stop.
So
wait, did they have a hit though? Because I feel like this is sounding familiar to me. Suicidal. I feel like
Their Suicidal Tendencies were an immensely influential. They started calling them a crossover band because they were a crossover between metal and hardcore, and that was a big thing. In 1983, it was coming together. The metal and hardcore was coalescing, and this is when when speed metal was really born. It was born from a common the punk rock roots that influenced the Metallica. The Metallica were very influenced by hardcore. Suicidal Tendencies, like almost, they've had 36 ex-members of Suicidal Tendencies. Many of whom,
that's a lot.
Many of whom are speed metal luminaries, like Robert Trujillo of Metallica, the current bass player from Metallica.
Yeah.
He spent time with Suicidal Tendencies. Dave Lombardo, Slayer drummer, huge drummer. He's been in Suicidal.
They've all been touched by it.
I'm sitting in my room and my mom and my dad came in. They pulled up a chair and they sat down. They go, Mike, we need to talk to you. And I go, okay, what's the matter? And they go, me and your mom, we've been noticing lately that you've been having a lot of problems and you've been going off for no reason and we're afraid you're going to hurt somebody. We're afraid you're going to hurt yourself. So we decided that it would be in your best interest if we could put you somewhere you could get the help that you need. And I go, wait, what are you talking about? We decided? My best interest? How do you know what my best interest is? And how can you say what my best interest is? What are you trying to say? I'm crazy? When I went to your schools? I went to your churches? I went to your institutional learning facilities? How can you say that I'm crazy?
They say they're gonna fix my brain, alleviate my suffering and my pain, but the time they fix my head, well, mentally, I'll be dead.
I'm not crazy.
Institutionalized!
You're the one that's crazy.
Institutionalized!
It's driving me crazy.
Institutionalized!
They stick me in an institution. They said it was the only solution to give me needed professional help to protect me from the enemy myself.
Doesn't matter. I'll probably get hit by a car anyway.
Wow. What a wild song.
Oh,
This has got to be relatable to so many people. I like the assist of Izzy there on the
yeah.
chorus.
Yeah, I mean,
Is that a chorus?
yeah, she hasn't been recording with me lately. I asked her. She hasn't seemed that interested, but I did get her in the studio, and I'm like, hey, you want to try this? And she
was
started,
game for
and she's
this?
like, I don't feel like singing that line. And I'm like, okay. And then I tried to get her to sing something, and then she's like, she walked out. But then she came back in. She said, I'll do it now. And she did.
She had to be. She
And she
had
killed
to.
it in
She
one
had to
take.
make the decision on her own. You know, she had
Well,
to decide to do it.
I know, but I had to ask her first.
Yeah.
I had to ask her. She had to refuse, and then she had to just, for some reason, come around
Yeah.
and do it. And she nailed it, obviously. There was no edits involved in that. She killed it live.
That's pretty classic, Izzy Barlow, when she comes in and drops down some vocals.
Institutionalized by Suicidal Tendencies. The video
Yeah.
was one of the first, if not the first, hardcore
Music video.
music video to be shown on MTV. It was and the song was sampled in "How I Could Just Kill a Man" by Cypress Hill. One of my favorite albums of all time, 1991, the first Cypress Hill album. I love that record.
Wow.
I didn't realize there was a
You know,
Suicidal Tendencies.
I was kind of like
sample
thinking
on
about
it.
Eminem while listening to that song.
Oh.
I'm like, God, I wonder if he listened to this at all, because it had this sort of poetic rap type cadence,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Where
No,
and just also the way the subject matter kind of reminds me of Eminem too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
No, I mean, it was really, it was a great hardcore song. I'll say, I think that's really, and it, like a lot of Southern California hardcore bands, they had lead guitar in it. Like they've always been lead guitar, even the most beginnings of Southern California hardcore had elements of heavy guitar, like heavy, like lead shredding. There was always a shredder Not always, but the guitar, the playing was really good. Even,
Okay.
you know,
So that would be
Alright.
different than the East Coast
time to stop
hardcore at that
talking.
time, right? Or
kind of.
The
It
end
was.
of Mini Music
Go into that.
Monday.
oh my gosh,
It never ends.
maybe next time.
Thank you for listening.